Good morning, dear students of class 8. Welcome to the English online learning class. Today we are going to take up a very interesting poem, Macavity the Mystery Cat, from your book Honeydew. And this poem is by the famous poet T.S. Eliot. Now, before we enjoy this poem, let us ask ourselves this question. Well, children, do you have pets? Do you have a pet cat? Have you ever noticed that this pet cat of yours is full of mystery, full of suspense? Well, not every cat is full of suspense, but definitely this cat about whom you are going to read, Macavity, is full of mystery. And that is why Macavity is called the mystery cat. A perfect mystery cat, Macavity is. Now let us read this poem. Macavity, a mystery cat. He's called the hidden paw. Macavity is the perfect mystery cat, full of suspense. And the other name that he is called is the hidden paw. Why? He is the master criminal who can defy law. He is the criminal who is expert at doing crime. So expert that he can even disobey the law. And the cat commits a crime but is never caught. And because of this quality of Macavity, he is the bafflement of Scotland Yard, the Flying Squad's despair. The headquarters of London Police is called the Scotland Yard. The Scotland Yard is confused because of the quality of this mystery cat, Macavity. And they are in despair. They are very troubled. They are not able to find out whether the cat has committed the crime. They have never been able to catch Macavity the mystery cat red-handed with the crime. She commits the crime, he commits the crime and leaves the place very smartly. For when they reach the scene of crime, Macavity is not there. Macavity is not to be found. Macavity has committed the crime and left the place. But the crime is committed by Macavity, and the police is never able to catch Macavity because Macavity is a mystery cat. Macavity, there's no one like Macavity. No one is like Macavity. He's a unique cat, a very different cat, a mystery cat. Why? Because he has broken every human law which is framed by humans, like the laws of gravity. His power of deviation would make a fakir swing. Deviation floating in the air. The manner in which Macavity floats in the air without any support, it would make even a fakir look at Macavity with wonder. And when you reach the scene of crime, Macavity is not there. And when the police or anyone reaches the scene of crime, Macavity is not to be found. You may seek him in the basement. You may look for him in the basement. You may look in the air to look whether the Macavity can be found. But I tell you once and once again, Macavity is not there because Macavity, after committing the crime, has escaped the scene of crime. And that is why Macavity is never to be caught. And that is why Macavity is a puzzle bafflement of Scotland Yard, the flying squad. And that is why Macavity is called the mystery cat hidden paw. Macavity is a ginger cat. Description of Macavity. You can see the picture of Macavity here. Ginger color cat, very tall, thin. You would know him if you saw him, for his eyes are sunken. If you see him with this description, you will be able to recognize him because his eyes are sunken, they are deep inside, and his brow is deeply lined with thought. You can see his eyebrows, they are always, it looks as if they are thinking something, they are planning something, and his head is highly domed. The head is like the shape of a dome. So this is the physical description of Macavity. The poet gives this physical description to tell people that if you can find this cat, you will not be mistaken because he is for sure Macavity, the mystery cat. Now, his coat is dusty from neglect. Coat is full of dust because Macavity does not take care of itself. His whiskers are uncombed. You can see the whiskers here. They are not groomed, they are not combed properly. He sways his head from side to side, swings his head from one side to the other. And with what it has been compared? With the movements of a snake. And when you think he is half asleep, he is always wide awake. And then you think that he is sleeping and can be caught easily. But Macavity is very alert. He is wide awake. So that is why Macavity can never be caught. Macavity, there is no one like Macavity. So there is no one like Macavity. The poet says with emphasis, Macavity is a unique cat, a different cat, a mystery cat. For he is a feat in feline shape, a devil in the shape of a cat, feline shape, a monster of depravity, all types of corruption, a devil of corruption. No principles, no morals in the life of Macavity. Life is full of corruption, and that is why Macavity is called a devil. You may meet him in a by street. You may see him in the square. So you can meet him anywhere, in the by streets or in the main square. But when any crime is committed and discovered, you will never be able to find Macavity. Because Macavity is a mystery cat. Macavity, after committing the crime, has escaped, has left the place. And that is why Macavity is also called a hidden paw. Macavity is the master criminal, and Macavity is the puzzle. It's a cause of despair for the Scotland Yard, the London police, and the flying squad. Because when they come to know about the crime, they reach the scene of crime, and Macavity is not to be found. We will stop here. We'll continue with the same poem discussion, question answers in tomorrow's class. Thank you. Have a nice day. Take care.